New graphic novel called Bunt, Striking Out on Financial Aid. We do have their other works as well. Check please right here, both volume 1 and 2. And we'll have a signing right after towards the end, so please stick around. If you haven't purchased one, you can still get it signed and then purchase it in the front. And I'll pass it off to them.
No problem. Hey everybody! It's so nice for you guys to be here. Make some noise! Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming to our first New York stop at Kinokuniya. We are so happy to be here. We're so happy to be, oh my gosh, we're actually promoting, oh hey, man, what's up? Matt's like, hey, testing. We're so happy to be here, and we're so happy to be promoting our brand new graphic novel, Bunt. And what we're gonna do basically is we're gonna ask each other some questions, chit chat about this whole ordeal, and how about, can I read like an intro for you? Or maybe you can read an intro for me.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, just so you know what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ngozi's gonna read my intro.
Yes. Mad Rupert is a comic artist and writer who got her start in self-publishing over 10 years ago. She authors 2 ongoing webcomics and has worked extensively on comic adaptations of Cartoon Network properties including Adventure Time, Regular Show, and Steven Universe. Bunt is her first original graphic novel. Mad is short for Madeline. She's not actually angry.
Okay, and then Ngozi Ukazu is a New York Times best-selling author and the creator of Check Please, an online graphic novel whose printing campaign remains one of the most funded webcomic Kickstarters ever. She graduated from Yale University with a degree in computing and the arts and later received a master's in sequential art. Since 2020, her cartoons have appeared in The New Yorker.
Ooh, we're so impressive. Wow, thank you guys so much. We appreciate that. All right, I guess we can start off by talking about how we met.
Yes.
Do you want to start or shall I?
You can start.
Okay. Because I think it is me who knew about you first.
Yes, I think there's a clear point where the perspective should shift to mine.
Because I remember, so after college, I decided to go to SCAD, the Savannah College of Art and Design, and I was so obsessed with not having to pay for school. I was just like, oh my goodness. I heard about, hey, how's it going? Sorry, security's like, y'all are being too loud. We're gonna shut this down. I do a lot of stand-up. I get very distracted very easily. And so I was so obsessed with this elusive scholarship. There was a full ride scholarship that they would give grad students. And I was like, okay, I gotta get that. How do I get that? And then I heard that only one person in our grad class actually got it. And their name was Mad Rupert. And I was like, who the hell is Mad Rupert? And I was like, okay, and also this mad person didn't have to take any of like the intro courses that everyone else had to take. And I was just like, okay, this bitch thinks she's all that, whatever. And then I remember...
I didn't.
Sorry, I can't scream laugh into the mic. But I remember like actually looking up her webcomic. I was like, okay, let me see who this Mad Rupert is. What's she all about? I bet she's not that great. Oh. Oh yeah, she deserves a scholarship. I should not be in the same classes as this person. Because you were like already like professionally published by that time.
Yeah, at that point I was doing a lot for Boom Studios for their licensed comics, like Adventure Time and Regular Show and stuff. And also, yes, I had been publishing my own webcomic, Sakana, for maybe 4 years at that point. But yes, so I had done a few comics. And also gone through the undergrad program at the exact same school. And so the only reason that I went to grad school at the same school for the same exact major was because they gave me a full ride scholarship. So otherwise I would not have done it. But go on, keep setting the scene.
I mean, honestly, I feel like there was just this mystery and envy. I was just like, who is this amazing artist who is going to school for free? Why can't it be me? And then, yeah, and, oh my god, and then we both were taking a class. I was in this intro to like, no, I was in an introduction.
It's like fundamentals of sequential art.
That was the exact name of the class. Fundamentals of sequential art. And we were paired together.
Yes, I was in a script writing class.
Yeah, I think you can take it from there because
okay.
I got your script.
Yeah, so it was two different classes. The fundamentals of sequential art and the script writing class would pair students together. So somebody in the script writing class would write a like 10 or 15 page script, and then somebody in the fundamentals class would draw a few pages from it, and that would be like how we introduce each other to ourselves and stuff. And so I remember, I don't know if I should bury the lead or not, but I was very, very ill. I became very ill that year in school. For about 2 months I had the most terrible case of bronchitis. I was sicker than I ever had been in my entire life. And the script I made was not very good.
It was great. It was actually very good.
Before the class, which we were just supposed to do the assignments and then like meet each other in class, before the class, I got an email from somebody I had never heard of before named Ngozi Ukazu. She's like, I have some notes on your scripts. And went through all of these notes, and I don't think I replied to your email.
You didn't.
Because I was really ill, and I was also like, I don't know if this is the purpose of this.
Yeah, no, it was, I was being a little extra. You shouldn't have replied. You should have replied with "Leave me alone."
I'm sick, but I did not tell Ngozi I was sick, because then we both were in that class together, met each other for the very first time, and our professor brought up Ngozi's and was like, "Okay, this is Mad's script. Ngozi, would you like to talk about it?" And Ngozi stood up to present the thing. And I turned around to look at her, and I wasn't wearing glasses at the time, which I don't have very good eyesight, so I was basically looking at her like...
I was like, oh, she hates me.
So you did my script? Yeah. So yeah, I felt terrible, I looked terrible, and then 3 years later, Ngozi was one of the bridesmaids in my wedding.
It all worked out. Yay! See, we were enemies to lovers. To friends. Wait, no, enemies just to friends. Enemies just to friends.
Interesting.
For now.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so what drew us to actually collaborating on this? Like,
well, should we speak very quickly about what exactly Bunt
oh
is
yeah,
about?
yeah. I guess we both have comics that have existed forever. So
Yeah,
we're
like, yeah, Bunt's existed forever.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so Bunt is the story of students at art school, who have to win one game of softball in order to get athletic scholarships.
Full ride athletic scholarship.
Some of you are already laughing because you're like, that sounds ridiculous.
It is.
It is ridiculous. And it's, I mean, I guess jumping off from there, it's this story of, I mean, I was processing grad school and how art school was. Yeah, and I really wanted to write about it because we met so many cool people. It was such an interesting experience. You play softball for like
Yes,
a million years.
For a billion years. And yeah, Ngozi called me up the one day and was like, yeah, hey, we're pitching this to First Second, but I don't know anything about softball.
I didn't know anything.
And I was like, oh, I can help with that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, and I think a good question that we've been asking is like, who is this for? Who do you imagine the audience for this book being? Yeah.
Well, who do you imagine?
I think this book, ideally, I want to give this to every single high schooler who is considering going to art school. Just a little bit of like, heads up, this is what you're getting into.
But at least a fantastical version of what you might get into.
Yeah, there will be, there be furries. Yes,
Yeah.
You should know that.
Yes.
I think like high schoolers, but honestly anybody who is interested in college or that experience, and if you like softball, if you like sports, there's a lot of fun action.
If you like funny, kooky stories where all of the characters make funny faces at each other, and there's 11 of them,
Yes.
then yeah, everybody can find their special one,
Yeah.
their little blurbo.
The day that we get fan fiction on about Bunt, I think that'll be the day. I'll check AO3
No.
right now. Whoa! Tentacles. No, just kidding.
Not right now.
Not right now. Okay, let's talk a little bit about our process, because this is my first time. It was my first time writing a script, and obviously our first time working together. Like,
Well, our second time.
oh, sorry,
This one went a lot better.
I forgot about that first time. I mean, I guess we can talk about. Well, I pitched this story to a different publisher, and then we took it to First Second, and I worked on an outline and some character design ideas. And then I remember when I actually did write the script, that was my first time writing a script. You gave me a lot of really good feedback to help the flow of the story. Also, I definitely didn't know how to write like an action scene for softball, so I would just turn that over to you.
Yes, there would be a moment in the script where I'd be reading through, and then there'd be a note that just says, fill in the next 3 pages with softball. At your discretion. I was like, all right.
This is what I mean, like, writers don't do anything in comics. I think so. But yeah, how was taking my script and turning that into a whole graphic novel?
Well, yeah, I think that, I mean, already you're also an extremely talented author and artist and writer for comics. So, you know, even though it was your, as you say, your first script writing for somebody else to draw, I think you had more or less a pretty good idea of how it should go. I mean, every once in a while there was like, well, maybe this page doesn't need like 9 panels, or, you know, maybe the action's getting a little dense and we could like, you know, push it out a little bit, or maybe there isn't quite enough softball, or stuff like that. But I mean, you know, I think what you do really well is writing stories about a lot of characters sort of intertwining together, especially in a collegiate setting.
It's like I've done it before.
It's like you've done it before already. But yeah, so I mean, it was great, and you gave me so much free reign to sort of take your ideas for the characters and sort of like zhuzh them up a little, and then even, you know, yeah, this book was a little delayed, and I think at the point where I really started to hit my stride, I actually had to go back and redraw some of the first pages because all of the character designs had evolved so much. So yeah, I thought it was a pretty seamless, you know, experience.
And I think one significant part of our experience, we are both webcomic artists, and this is our first time publishing. I think a good question for you, Matt, would be, what's the difference between working on a webcomic and working with a publisher?
You're throwing me this, you're lobbing me this softball. Yeah. So this is my favorite thing to talk about at the few of these that we have done already, is the difference between webcomics and traditional publishing is that in webcomics you have to be a sicko. You have to be sicko number 1.
Please explain what you mean.
By sicko number 1. So sicko number 1 is, it is your singular goal to make this thing that you love so much that only you can tell. You're not seeing what you want in the traditional publishing world, so you have to make it. And you are its biggest champion, and it can really look like anything or be anything. And then if you are going into traditional publishing, you have to be a sicko in a suit and sort of shave off a few of the rough edges, let's say. You know, pare down maybe your wildest dreams. In my case, my webcomic is black and white in a strip format. And it's over 600 pages long, and only 1 week has taken place in Canada. So nobody would ever publish that. But I've been working on it for 14 years. So, and I have my 10 other sickos who love what I do. So that's thank you.
I think we have some sickos in the crowd.
My sickos.
Are there sickos with us?
There's sickos with us in the room. Well, how has your experience in webcomics been?
Okay, well, shout out to our editor is actually here, Kiara Valdez from First Second. Please give it up for Kiara. The only reason why any of these books are here on this table
Thank you, Kiara.
is because of Kiara. And also why Check Please is here. Kiara specifically edited, well, you did the whole thing, let's just be real. But book 2 is so much Kiara's input and work. I mean, Check Please would not, like, if I pitched Check Please raw,
Raw, unfiltered.
if I just was like, yo, I got this comic, it's about hockey, it's about pie, it's about homosexuals, they would just be like, take that back to the drawing board.
And it's a podcast.
And it's a podcast. It's a vlog.
Not a podcast.
It could be a podcast. Like, I just think any traditional publisher would just be like, this is uncooked. This is underbaked. We can't publish this.
It's raw. It's
Gordon
raw. Ramsay. It's raw.
This is why we need a moderator. because we'll just be giggling. But yeah, like I had enough sickos. I had a swarm of sickos.
You had a whole bunch of sickos.
And when I went to Kiara, I went to First Second. I was like, check out this sicko swarm, and they're like, whoa, we gotta publish this.
We gotta get in on that.
So, and they became sickos. There are no edits to Check Please. They took the JPEGs right off the site. They didn't do that. It's true. All right. Let's be serious again.
Okay.
I think we answered that question.
Okay.
Also, we will have some time for Q&A.
Yeah. Audience Q&A. Yeah.
Audience Q&A.
Yeah, we have to
Breathe.
Okay.
What was the saddest part? What was the saddest part of making Bunt? No, I'm just kidding. No. An actual question. This is just for you, Mad. Like, oh my God, I think your style is so unique. Can you walk us through some of your art influences? And also, do you have any advice, any art advice in general, but specifically for anyone who wants to draw funnier comics?
Okay, so definitely I read a lot of manga, obviously, and I feel like I take a lot of iconography from that. Like, a lot of my characters have little, sweat drops and stuff like that. But I think my greatest disappointment with some, let's say, mainstream comics is that, they're not emotive enough. The characters, they say that they're sad. What's happening in the story is objectively sad, but it's just not really reflected in, like, their face. It's just sort of like maybe their mouth is open a little bit extra, but, like, nothing else sort of beyond that. And for me, I think what I think is most important about making comics and conveying meaning to your reader through comics is extreme clarity. And so if you say that they're sad, you better make me believe that they're sad so that I can see it. I think some other big influences for me very early on where it was the Jamie Hewitt Tank Girl comics, which Jamie Hewitt also did The Gorillas, which is probably his more well-known thing. But and then also Pokemon. When I was 10 years old, Pokemon hit in 1999. I remember where I was.
Your voice cracked.
I remember where I was.
My voice is cracking apparently at that time too. But yeah, and I drew every single Pokemon. I had a big binder full of them, full like plastic sleeves. They were all in order. I would take it to every family gathering and show all my aunts and uncles, and they'd be like,
This is a funeral.
"What the hell is this?" No. But yeah, so I think sort of that's.
I'm so sorry. This is our silliest sighting ever. Okay, I'll bring it in. I'll reel it in.
So I think, yes, what's most important is to like find the things that sort of speak the most to you and then find a way to like mash it all together. Like Pokemon and the Gorillas. How do you mash that together? And for me, it's a lot of just like shape language and sort of taking things from everything that I see that I like and sort of incorporating it into my style. Drawing really stupid faces, I think, generally gets me very far.
Really fun faces. All right, you can ask me this question.
For Ngozi, Bunt and Check Please have a lot of similarities, but some differences in themes. Can you talk about the themes that keep popping up in your work? How is Bunt different?
This is such a dorky question. I wrote it. You wrote that. I know. Why did I do? This is not very good.
Will you answer it?
Yeah. I mean, on top. Wow, I'm ridiculous. Like when you first look at these two comics, you see a sports story. You see a story about a bunch of like college kids working together.
Specifically art school kids.
There's queer elements, but I think both of these stories are really about, oh my gosh, there's a lot of themes of friendship. I like writing ensemble pieces because like all the different ways people can be friends is really interesting. Like with Check Please, you have like Ransom and Holster with their bizarre like warrior brother to the death friendship. And like with Ryan and Molly, you have nerd goth friendship. I think that's like a good example. Like
Completely platonic.
I mean, she's gay. And then, but she's like this nerdy girl. Molly's on. I forget. You guys may not know. Molly's our protagonist.
Molly's on the cover.
Yeah, she's this huge nerd, and her best friend is this goth boy who is like cynical towards everything, but like his best friend. And I don't know. I just find like exploring all of those platonic relationships to be really interesting and amusing. And I also just like humor. Like I think I secretly just want to write a sitcom. So.
Yeah, it is. It is very. I mean, and this sort of framework lends itself very well to sitcom.
Yeah, we could have made this book like.
Yeah, we could have made like 3 of these.
Yeah, there's all the character interactions. There could have been so much more. So, but alas, Kiara only let it be.
No,
I'm just kidding. No, it's not Kiara's
Kiara's
fault. Kiara helped us. Only helped.
So much.
Okay. Those are all the questions that I have. Maybe we can turn it over to some Q&A. We can probably take like 10, 15 minutes. You guys can signal us when we're going too far.
Okay.
But we're very nice. We're very kind. We won't
very
bite your head
cool.
off. We're cool.
We're funny.
We're
We're cute.
We're cute.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any questions, we would love to answer them.
So when I was in college, I roomed with softball players. And so softball is one of those sports, kind of like hockey, where like there's just some quirks. And so I was wondering, what were like your favorite quirks to kind of put on the page for Bunt with softball? Because we know hockey has a lot.
Yes. Hockey has like nicknames and, I mean, pranks. That's a huge part of hockey. You played hockey way long. I mean, you played softball way longer than
Yeah.
I know.
I should say that my experience with softball, let's say, was maybe I didn't actually want to play as much as I was playing, but you know, it's a good way to bond with your father. But definitely, I think, in my experience, the craziest things about softball are that you can just make up the most bizarre chants and scream them at the other team.
Yes.
You can just be yelling directly at the pitcher while she's trying to like do her thing, and you're just like shaking and then the ump says, no, that's too much.
Yeah. I think putting in chants was a fun thing.
Yes.
Allie led them. A character named Allie is really an excitable character.
Yes, I definitely think that each like area has its own sort of culture. There's the outfield. You're sort of out there doing your own thing. There's the infield. There's like, you're going to get hit by the ball first if it comes right at you. And then there's the pitcher and the catcher who sort of have their own special bond. I was in left field because I could run fast, and that was about it. I was always very afraid of it hitting my face, so I don't know if I was the best left fielder ever, but yeah.
Yeah, we put some chants in Bunt. Softball, I mean, softball's gay. I don't really know what to say. And there's a lot of lesbians in this, so I don't know.
Yeah, there are multiple.
Yeah, I mean, that's softball. Any other questions? That was a great one. Thank you. Yes.
So I'm way in the back. What was the difference of having to develop an ensemble in one volume versus like a webcomic where you have a lot more time or flexibility to create more characters?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think, well, for me making Check Please, the characters were based off some of my friends, but I was also drawing a lot from hockey players that I found interesting in the NFL. In Bunt, it was a lot of just people that we knew.
Yeah, I would say that unfortunately, Bunt is more of a art school book than a softball book. It's mostly about how these art school students, most of them do not actually know how to play softball.
Yes.
So, and like some of them sort of guiding the others very painfully towards perhaps maybe winning only one game.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this, like we said, this could definitely have been like 3 books long.
Because there's a lot of characters that could have gotten even more development.
Yes.
Because they're all so quirky and weird. We always talk about Quan. We talk about Jazz and Quan.
Yeah, 2 different characters. Yeah.
There's a character named Quan who is based off of our friend named Quan.
His name is Quan.
His name is
But
Quan.
spelled different.
Yeah, and he was
It's just not 1-to-1 Quan. You have to say that.
It's not 1-to-1. Yeah, for legal reasons we could not do that. But he was so curious and like and fun, and we just wanted to make a character based off of him. And now that I'm thinking about it, I have no idea who Jazz is based on. She's just this wild character.
She was just both of us wish fulfillment.
Yeah, I know.
We want this mean little girl to run through all of these silly art school students.
Jazz is this character. She's like she already has a scholarship for painting because she's like this savant prodigy painter, but she's also this like kind of mean little black girl who's just always going like, "Why are you wearing a tail?" Like, wait, your mom let you go outside like that? Like that's how she always is. But
And we wanted to put a lot of her
Yeah.
in the book, and we actually had to stop ourselves. We had to like re-edit
yeah.
because it's like there are like 10 other characters
Yeah.
that need more time.
She would just show up like even her being in that scene where she's going back to Molly's like hardware store. Like, why was she there? She was just hanging
She was
out.
just hanging out.
She's fun, yeah. But I don't know. I have no idea where she came from now that I'm thinking about it. Wish fulfillment.
Sometimes they just come right into your head.
What about like how did you develop? I've never asked you this. How did you develop the characters for Sakana? Or Sakana?
That was 14 years ago. Oh no! What I was doing was
I visited the Tsukiji Fish Market in 2009. I really liked it so much, and I had to do a school project where I set 11 comic strips based on something that I liked. It was a class trip for SCAD when I was an undergrad. And I liked the Tsukiji Fish Market so much, I was like, I'm gonna make a whole story set here. And all of the characters are more or less visually based on fish. So, because it's Sakana, which means fish.
Wait, what's you guy?
He's an eel. Tara's a crab.
See, it's not just me. It's not just me.
Jiro's a shark.
I mean, Jiro, yeah, because he had the fish.
He has a fin.
He has the fin and you have the tail.
Revelations happening right here. Yeah. He had
Taisei.
his octopus.
Oh, wow.
You read this comic.
This is amazing. Well, I can't believe I've known you for like 10 years.
Every single one of them has a fish.
Keep going.
No, we're talking about Bunt.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess we are.
It's a webcomic. It's not even published.
Well, check out Sakana.
So check out Sakana.
I did not know this.
It's called fish.
I know it's called fish. I know Sakana means fish. This is incredible.
Stupid name. I
Well,
know.
that's how you develop characters.
This is how you develop characters.
Fish.
Yeah, you pick specific fish and you say, this guy's a real, shark.
And the way I thought I would trip you up, because I was like, okay, what about Taisei? You're like, octopus.
His brother, a jellyfish.
So this is, okay, so sorry. There are some Sakana readers here, right?
Please read Bunt.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna read one, whatever. But you guys are also shocked by this too. Okay, cool. This is amazing.
Thank you. I'm glad that I could look at this. Look at these heavy-hitting questions.
I know. You guys, thanks for the journalism.
Yeah.
All right. I think we have time for a few more questions. After that one, I don't know. Yeah.
How long did it take you to make the book from like start to finish? And
Good.
I guess the follow-up question would be, how long do you think it would take you to make like one page as well?
I mean, it took us a while.
It took us a while. I think the two of us were working on way too much at the beginning of it, so it took, I think, a few years to really get rolling, and then finally there was like, it needs to be done by now or else it won't come out in February 2024, and I was like, oh, shit. So then we really put the pedal to the metal. I think,
If we were to start Bunt today, I think it would
Yes.
take 2.5 years.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think definitely the two of us learned a lot during the process. I learned that I should not be doing 3 things at once,
Yeah.
certainly. And I think that at this point we would have a better way. I, at least for myself, would have a better way of scheduling myself. And maybe like 2.5
Yeah,
years.
I think so.
Maybe 2 if we were really booking and had nothing else going on.
And I think, like, to make everyone has different pacing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I don't think there's like one right answer.
Yeah.
I know there's like industry standard is like 1 per day.
Yeah.
But
It really depends on what you want to make, especially if it's a webcomic. If you're a real sicko and you're like really a sicko for like extremely elaborate pages that take you way too long, then
It might take longer.
it might take longer. I mean, some people, some people make one a day. I think for me, Sakana, I could make like 2 pages per day from like start to finish if I really was motoring on it. What about for Check Please? One of those panels?
I couldn't even tell you. I don't know. For my I don't know because Check Please is such a weird format. I would say like one a day too, like a page a day as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for Bunt, what we had to do was like big sweeps of like thumbnails and then pencils and then inks, and it's tough for me to do all of those at once, one at a time, but I think I got to a point where I was like 50 or 100 pages in, and I was like, I just want to start inking now. And then I think I could ink like 5 or 6 a day or something like that. They were fairly small pages. I would say if I was doing this today, and we were well scheduled and everything, probably like a page a day.
Yeah.
Maybe like if I was just inking, maybe like 2 a day.
It's hard because like comic artists, we often break up the process. So like for me, it'd be like maybe 2 or 3 pencils, and then 2 or 3 pencils a day, and then maybe 4 or 5 inks a day. But that's like still averages out to like 1 actual page a day. Yeah. That was a good question. And maybe we can do one. Okay, yes, right there.
This is a bit of a meta question. Do you think Check Please characters would get along with the Bunt characters? And then follow-up question, Biddy and Molly,
Yes.
would they like Renaissance?
Oh! Act 1 or Act 2? Actually, we don't know. We don't know whether Act 1 is called Renaissance and Act 2 is something else. So, sorry if you didn't hear that question. It's one, would the Check Please characters get along with the Bunt characters, and would Molly or Biddy, would they like Renaissance? Well, yes, Biddy, yes. Obviously, he probably has a tattoo of all 16 tracks on his back, like the Prison Break guy. Can we throw like Sakana into the mix too? Do you think Sakana kids would get along with Bunt?
The whole thing about Sakana is that all of the characters have like unmedicated anxiety disorders.
That really hit with this crowd.
And now that I'm 14 years into it, I'm starting to think to myself, well, I'm less anxious, so maybe they could be less anxious.
I feel like the Bunt kids are just too weird. I feel like the Sakana people would be like...
Taisei would be nice to them.
Okay, Taisei would be nice.
He would like them. He would get along with them.
Yurei would hate all of them.
Yeah. Well, he hates everyone.
And then I feel like Yuro would just be like...
He'd be too scared.
Yeah, he wouldn't want to talk to any of them.
Yeah, it's a bunch of girls, so
Yeah.
he'd be scared.
And Taro would want to play, but he'd maybe not want to hang out.
He would be too into it. They would have to take him off the team. They'd have to cut him.
I guess for Check Please, I think they all would actually get along because they would all probably do elaborate, terrible pranks. I can imagine Biddy being like, great, I get to make more pies for more people, because that's his only concern. Jack would just be like, another sport? Cool, let me master this. But I think everybody else, like definitely Lardo and Ransom and Holster and Shitty would just be like, whoa, these guys can like build stuff that can make our pranks more dangerous.
And Renaissance.
Oh, and Renaissance? Okay, so yeah, Biddy figured out. Yeah. Would Molly like Renaissance? Oh, this is such a good question. Oh, I don't want to take too much time pondering this.
Instinct.
I think,
Gut feeling.
I feel like she's such a nerd. I feel like she wouldn't get it.
She wouldn't get it.
I mean, she'd be like, oh, I'm so happy. Like, Beyonce is such a hard worker, and I really appreciate, like, all she does, and I've researched.
Like, say it in too many words.
Yeah,
But then,
and
like, she's
someone,
just not into
and
it.
it's just be like 10, 10, 10 across the floor. Do you get that, Molly? You guys don't know. Do you know heated rap? Thank you. Okay, she wouldn't get the house-ness of it.
Can I say something though?
Please.
A few days ago when we were in Austin.
Yes.
So the first leg of our tour was in Austin, and I went to Ngozi's house and was staying in her guest bedroom, and the Super Bowl was playing, and neither of us were watching it. We were both sitting in our separate rooms looking at our phones.
We didn't talk the entire time.
Well, because we had just had like a whole signing and everything, and we were like, I have to not speak to anyone for a moment. But then I hear at the top of her lungs screaming down the hall, Beyonce's doing a country album.
I screamed that.
Just
You were on the phone with Gan, and I
think
walk
I was,
in, I
yeah.
interrupt your conversation.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care. You're talking to your
into my
spouse.
bedroom.
Beyonce's doing a country album. Can you believe it?
And I was like, okay.
Okay, this answer is going on way too long. I think Molly would like Texas Hold'em and maybe Break, but she would like the singles, but she wouldn't get the albums. Oh, that's the answer. That's a good
There
answer.
we go, we did it.
All right.
Was there any final?
Yeah.
Hopefully this is a simple question. What was your favorite memory from working on this?
This tour right there.
Yeah, honestly, this has been really nice. Oh no.
Tossing my hat off.
No,
This
yeah.
has been really nice.
It's been super nice. Yeah, this is the first book tour I've ever gotten to go on, so it's been really sweet. And, you know, honestly, speaking at Kino is kind of a dream for me because I love this store so much. So yeah, it's been really. I think it's been this tour has been fantastic, and the reception and everything. You know, it can be definitely lost in the sauce for most of it, for most of the process, but it's a moment of clarity happens when you dig back out of it. You're like, oh, that was cool. I could do it again.
No. Do we have another? I was trying to come up with a funny answer, but honestly, it is like doing this tour and like just seeing you guys, seeing all the support, seeing that people care about original stories. So yeah,
Thanks.
there you go. That was a great question to end it on.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, good. So, I thought they left me. It was so nice to meet you.
My pleasure.
Thank you. You should check out this. Oh, I am. Okay. It is for.
I did those new ones, and I was like, wait, common knowledge. I guess I haven't really mentioned it in the past few years.
Oh, I don't think. And then this was on the radar.
Hey, I was like, oh, well, that's find a way to get it back in.
Very densely, there's no oxygen in them, so it makes them hard to burn actually. In some cases.
I know. So I'm excited to read it. As you should be. Okay, I'm gonna leave now. Thank you. And then following your will.
Yeah.
Oh, both of them.
Okay, making sure
I'm like
nothing
for a friend.
Okay.
Yeah, just following both of your work for a while. So it's just very exciting. And I love that you guys are wonderful.
We had a lot of fun. Goofy, weirdos. I have no
No, this is incredible. And I was there to stick out the story. I don't know why that got me. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you. Great question.
We had a lot of, I mean, as you can probably tell, Madeline had it all.
That was the relative fun.
Or not.
As long as you don't forget the question.